All right, welcome in everybody to Streamathon 2025. Believe it or not, this is the third Streamathon we have, and back by popular demand, please welcome one of my very favorite humans in the entire world, Elyse Avila Smith, everybody. Yay!
Fight on.
Fight on, fight on. I'm sure clapping's good for the microphones. So Elyse, thank you for coming today. So I'm excited because you and the restaurant have this family recipe.
We do.
And it's a soup. It's a chicken-based soup. As it happens, we, the Vogels, have a family recipe. As I think we talked last time that my grandparents, my great-grandparents owned a restaurant.
Yes.
We did. We talked about this, and so they served a chicken and dumpling soup. So we're gonna share recipes today. Does that sound fun?
Sounds good to me. I can't wait.
So I will say this though. I did send a memo about the dress code, and you went above and beyond the Call of Duty. So what's that all about?
Well, this is actually what I wear on a daily basis at work.
That is not true. I went to your work.
True fact.
Okay. But so is a hoodie, can I wear a hoodie in the kitchen at the restaurant?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, why? What are the hazards of a hoodie?
The hazards, well, number one, that very nice USC hoodie is gonna get ruined real fast.
Damn, okay, ruined hoodie.
Always suggest wearing black because you're gonna get very messy very fast.
Okay, fine, black is good, slimming.
And you look great in it, right?
Well, thank you.
But just for you,
Okay.
I brought you your very own
Oh, it's
coat.
a chef jacket. Okay, so let's see. It's red and black. It doesn't have the restaurant name on it though.
Well, I didn't know your restaurant name.
All right, so through the magic of YouTube editing, we're gonna put this jacket on. Are you ready? We're
Ready.
gonna jump together. And 1, 2, 3. Wow! Whoa! Wow! Look at this. Ooh, you're right. It does look good.
I feel like you're a better chef just because you have the jacket on.
There it is. You know, that's how it feels to be in the band, right? Or being a spirit leader.
True.
Like you put the suit on, and all of a sudden you can do anything.
You're like a superhero.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So we're making a chicken soup, both of us. But the one thing our soups have in common is the chicken, and it's that initial step. So why don't we start with your soup, because it's kind of the same thing, and what's the first thing we need to do?
So first thing you're gonna need to do is get a stock pot.
A big one?
This is a restaurant stock pot. The ones we actually use for our soup are about 10 times this big.
Oh,
But
okay.
here's a house size one.
Okay.
We're gonna fill it up with water.
House size? Dude, this is not my house size.
Well, you haven't met my family.
Yeah, you got it. Nice. Okay.
So we're gonna fill that up with water, get that boiling, and we're gonna get the chicken and get that in there.
Okay. So the water's boiling. We take the chicken, but does it need to be boiling first? Does that matter?
It's better if it is, because then it will immediately start cooking.
Instead
and
of
it takes
waiting
a long
and getting
time.
soggy and all that.
Exactly.
Do you season the water at all when you do it?
We're gonna do that after we put the chicken in.
After the chicken goes in.
Correct.
All right. You want me to move the chicken? You want to move? You know what? I'll move the chicken.
Get that chicken.
Shall we? All right. So we're gonna grab the chicken, buddy. It's okay. You've done your part. Here we are. Chicken's up. Ugh. We got a little drippy going on. All right. All right. Face up, face down.
Ideally straight down.
Straight down. The chicken
You
goes
can
in the
fit
water.
it.
All right. You can fit it. It's in the pot. We'll get the air out of there. Okay. The chicken is in the pot.
It's cooking. All
So
right.
I gotta wash my hands. This I know. I've seen enough movies to know salmonella is a problem. Speaking of germs, what's your favorite germ movie, Elyse?
My favorite germ movie?
Yeah, are
I
you
don't
a-
even know what germ movie. Maybe
Like, are you-
Outbreak. There you go.
Outbreak with the monkey.
That's a good germ
The Outbreak.
movie.
Okay. Here's a fun fact for you. Whose film debut, famous guy, was Outbreak? Do you know this?
I have no idea. Tell me.
Patrick Dempsey.
No.
Patrick Dempsey. He's in Outbreak. You know who he is?
No.
He's the guy in the leather jacket. He is patient zero. He's the one who gets the monkey.
Oh, I do know
He
this.
gets bit. Isn't that
Yes.
crazy? And then a few years later, Grey's Anatomy.
And then he was famous.
And then-
McDreamy forever.
McDreamy forever, but we should have called him McMonkey Bite. Okay, so the chicken is in the pot.
All right, chicken's cooking. So next thing we're gonna do is get our tomato and our onion in the stock pot as well.
Okay, cool.
So with that, we're actually not chopping it up. We're just fourthing it. So we're gonna do that
We're
with,
just quartering a whole tomato.
that's right.
Any particular brand of tomato? Like, where do you get your tomatoes?
We get our tomatoes from restaurant suppliers that
Okay.
get them fresh from farmers.
But if ooh, I love that. But if you're doing it at home, like what would be a great piece of advice for getting a tomato at home, you think? Farmer's market?
Yeah, I mean, that's ideal. You
Whole Foods.
Well, farmer's market we love because we're supporting local farmers.
100%.
And you're getting really good quality product.
Right, right.
If you don't have that option, anywhere we'll do.
Right.
These are called beef tomatoes.
Beef tomatoes.
So, yes.
Nice.
You have your Roma tomatoes, there's all different kinds, but these are the ones that you're gonna wanna use for that.
Okay.
So once you get that, you're gonna throw that in the pot as well.
Both of them? These two?
Yep.
All right,
going.
here we go. Look at this. I've done my part.
And then we're
Yahtzee,
going to
Yahtzee.
move to our onion.
White onion?
White onion.
Okay.
Same thing.
Quarter it.
Chop that. And then throw that in there. It doesn't have to be any special way. You don't want to chop it up. That's the key.
Big pieces.
Exactly.
Now, you eat these with the soup or you fish these out before you end
We're
up
gonna
serving?
strain everything out at the end. Right now we're making soup broth.
We're just making a great chicken stock.
Exactly.
Love it, okay?
And then lastly, but not least, and most importantly, these are our secret spices.
No.
Yes, so these spices
Secret spices. So
will
can
never tell you what's in there.
No, can I guess? Here,
No,
let's.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Well, you don't have to tell me, but let's see. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let me sniff. It's like Pretty Woman. Ooh, hold on a minute. Can I sniff at it?
Yeah,
Can I try it?
sure.
Can I dip a finger in there? Let's see.
I think you just got a lot of salt at that moment.
Yeah, I'm picking up salt. All right, so what's in there? There's cumin in there.
There's some cumin.
I can tell. How much though? That's between you and God.
You'll never know.
We'll never know.
Me and Grandma.
You and Grandma. All right, there's cumin in there. What else do I see in there? Was that parsley in there?
Can't tell you.
Can't tell you. Could be oregano, could be parsley,
Could be
something green. But you all may not know this, but every Avila's El Ranchito is issued an official treasure box of the seasonings.
And it stays in there all the time.
Right. Now my guess is no one actually measures it. My guess is that at night you close the box, and then when you come back the next morning you open it, it's full, right?
True
Is that
story.
correct? Yes. Okay. So can we show it to the camera? Can they see
Absolutely,
it?
they can see it.
So look in the treasure box. You see? Ooh. These taste a lot better than I think KFC's secret herbs and spices. Don't tell the Colonel I said that though. All right, so we throw those in?
So we're gonna throw that
I
in.
think you should.
I
It's
will
magic.
tell you something I learned from my grandma. She never measured anything. So even in our recipes, it's not measured out. It's things like a handful. And
Love
that's
that.
how we measure everything out in our restaurants.
Spoiler alert, nothing that I've done is measured either.
Because yours is your grandma's also, right?
Grandma, my dad. Now my
Great-grandma.
dad is the pro. My dad's the one, he has mastered it. Every church potluck, every whatever, people are like, Wayne, make the chicken and dumpling soup.
I think that's how you know a good soup is when you're not measuring anything.
Correct. All right, let's throw them in.
Let's
Here we
throw
go.
it in. All right,
the
here we
magic
go.
case goes into the pot. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, sprinkle it in. Okay.
Slowly
Okay, look
into
at that
the
skill.
water.
So you don't get that coming off the street. That is restaurant quality seasoning right there, how she's doing the process.
All right, we're good.
We're good, that's it?
And now we wait for a very long time.
How long? How long does this take?
About 5 hours.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a time-lapse camera and we're gonna let this run. We're literally gonna watch water boil for the rest of the show. So Casey, come on over.
We'll see you guys in 5
We'll
hours.
see you in 5 hours. Thanks everyone.
Have fun.
5 hours later.
I guess we're not really doing that, right?
No.
Bummer. So let's keep
It
filming
would have been
that,
a good
Casey.
streamathon, just 5 hours of soup cooking.
I mean, it's easy content.
True.
A whole lot less work. Should we put the lid on?
Yeah, we should.
All right, we'll
Good
put the
point.
lid on. We'll put the lid on to the soup stock. But so that's all the seasoning that goes in.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. So let me tell you our secret family soup seasoning recipe thing, right? So you can do this in 3 ways, all right? The 3 ways my dad pitches it. There's the big way, the whole chicken. Not the easy way, the medium way, and that's the way I did it, is I took the water and I used chicken thighs.
Okay.
So I just used 4 or 6, depending on, if it's 4 quarts of water, usually a chicken thigh per quart kind of does it for the recipe, right?
Got it.
But to season it, here's my dad's secret weapon. So this here, you seen this before? You know what this is?
I do.
Yeah? It says celery, for those of you who don't know at home, all right? So what?
Celery. Great for
Celery.
Bloody Marys.
Great for blood. We'll set this aside for later,
Right,
all right? So right here, he takes this nonsense out, the guts of the celery, and we loose break that up. And then while the chicken is boiling, these big celery pieces, just like you have with the onion and all of that, that goes in there.
Okay.
So then you're really infusing, this is a very celery kind of soup. Almost that, what do they call it in French? The mirepoix, you know what I'm talking about?
And yes,
Yeah.
you're not cutting it, what's the size that you're breaking
So
it
these
at?
are about as wide as my hand, right?
Okay.
So just big pieces, because again, we're gonna fish them out.
Got
We're gonna
it.
strain them out to make the stock. And then I have another secret weapon for the stock, all right? Because if there's a hard mode and a medium mode, there's an easy mode. In the easy mode is you either use, I hate to say it, use a regular chicken stock, but we very rarely do that, right? The big easy mode is we use our secret weapon, chicken bouillon. Now what's great about this, what I love about this, you know what the main ingredient in this is?
Salt.
Salt, true, correct. You know what number 2 is?
What is it? Tell me.
Sugar.
Oh.
Everything a growing boy needs. Number 3?
MSG?
No, but MSG is number 4, and the MSG, that's the secret. Don't shy away from it. It's in there, ingredient number 4. But this, right on the boil, a lot of times what we'll do is just sprinkle a little bit of that in there.
Okay.
Just to kind of get some of that nice chicken flavor in there, right? But we're cooking it at home. Sometimes we don't have time to boil a chicken for 5 hours.
We don't all have
right?
5 hours.
We don't.
True.
We don't. So that's the secret ingredient. And if you don't have this, chicken stock, etc. But you're probably wondering, okay, well, if you're not boiling chicken, where do you get the chicken? Here's the other secret weapon, the easy mode, Costco. Get that rotisserie chicken, shred that bad boy, and if you're in a hurry, easy peasy.
Perfect.
Sound fun? Okay, so now can we talk about what goes, so we got the chicken stock going. How do we ornament the stock? What goes into the soup?
So once our soup is done, we have our broth, right? The most important part of our soup. So we're gonna put in rice, which we also make in-house at the restaurant. And then after that, we're gonna top it with the broth with some fresh chicken.
Okay.
That we're gonna use the chicken from the soup
Sure.
for. And then we're gonna put tomato, cilantro, onion, and avocado on top.
And that's all garnishing the broth and the rice.
Correct, at the very end, right before you eat it.
Is the rice, is it the same rice? Like if I'm ordering, whatever I'm ordering, is it the same rice I would get with my meal at the table?
Correct.
The same exact rice?
Yes.
So it has its own seasonings and secret weapons in it as well.
Yeah, so the rice is like a whole nother
That's a whole other
streamathon,
production.
maybe next year.
Next year, we'll just make
rice for 5 hours.
And then I can bring my secret rice recipe.
That's great. I look
which
forward
is
to it.
you put the rice in the water in the rice cooker and you hit go. And that's it.
That's amazing.
Isn't that magic?
I cannot wait to learn that.
You should invest.
That's great. I will.
Just for the restaurant.
Let's open a restaurant just for that.
Just for rice. Just rice. Rice in a rice cooker.
Perfect.
All right, so you make the rice, the garnish. Now our soup, we have to make the dumplings. That's a bit of a process.
Okay.
Which we can demonstrate, but I think we both have some vegetables to chop.
Yeah, let's do some work.
Why don't we chop some vegetables? We could talk some family stuff, yeah?
Do you want to chop all the onions?
All the onions?
Yeah.
Well, I have a white onion. You have a white onion.
Okay.
I can do onions.
I just
you want
thought
to
I'd
chop
throw it
celery?
out there. It's not my favorite.
No. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll both cry together. No, you chop your own veggies. I'll chop my own veggies. Sounds good? And we'll talk while we do it. Okay.
Deal.
So Elyse, I have a question.
Yeah, tell me.
When did you first start working in the restaurant?
When did I first start working in the restaurant? I was probably about 2.
Okay.
Child labor is a big thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's very important.
And I started bussing tables for 10 cents a table.
When you were 2 years old?
Yeah.
2. So.
Yeah, barely walking, bussing tables.
Right. But
basically, I've been doing this my whole life.
But able to carry things without dropping them, right? Is what I'm gathering.
Not really.
Okay.
There's a lot of dropping happening at the time.
What was the thing you dropped the most?
Oh, good story. When I first started bussing officially, so I was probably 16 years old, I actually dropped an entire tray of water on a lady. Probably 10 waters.
On a lady?
Yes, all over her. And I started to cry.
Yeah.
And she was the kindest person
water's
ever.
in glasses.
Yeah.
So you had a whole tray, water on ice in glasses.
Yeah, and I dropped it all over her.
And you
Gave
just
her a
dropped it all
shower
over.
in the middle of lunchtime.
Was there a lot of garlic in her food? Maybe she needed that shower.
I felt pretty bad.
Well, you know what? She's probably forgiven you by now.
Maybe she's watching this right now.
Well, hey, water lady, if you're watching, tune in.
I'm so sorry.
Elyse is sorry. I have a spilling water story.
Yeah, tell me.
I still haven't, she's already done dicing her tomato. I still haven't gotten the peel off this onion. You could tell there's a level of professionalism we lack. If we were writing music, it'd be a different story, right? All together?
Fair.
I think fair? Okay. So I have a water spilling story. So my sophomore year of high school, homecoming, I'm at dinner. I'm at the nicest restaurant in town. This is Caro's, right?
Okay.
The corner of I and Main.
That is fancy.
And I was taking this young lady to dinner, right? And I treated her to the most expensive thing on the menu, the chicken fingers, right?
Ooh.
Now,
You must have really liked her.
I sure did. Now here's what happened. I reached over, the entire glass of water, I spilled it on the table.
Oh no!
Right? And I'm like, how embarrassing, how shall I recover? But you know me, very charming, very whimsical. I talked my way out of it.
Did you write her a song?
I should have, because guess what I did 5 minutes later? Spilled the replacement glass of water in her lap twice. So 2 glasses of water. The dance was great, but come Monday, I found myself without a girlfriend. Big tear, right? So I guess it was, but you know what? I wouldn't have met my wife if I was still involved.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Absolutely.
All right, well, I've been yucking away too much. I gotta do this onion. So, did you do I wasn't paying attention because I was talking, but do you do this whole business like the bloomin' onion style? Where you kind of put a grid in it and then dice it down? Or you're just a pro?
That is very fancy. I like what you're doing.
So this,
I
my
do it
dad,
restaurant style where you just do it as fast as you can.
Yeah, my dad, I mean, and then maybe this is just the way they did it. I don't know how much, because it was a drive-in diner.
Okay.
Is what they had, right? So they're doing hamburgers, chicken fried steak, tacos, just really kind of like a baker's or something like that. Just cranking it out. And my dad was in the kitchen with his brother, and then his sister, she was on roller skates.
Oh, that's awesome.
Taking orders at cars, yeah? So how fun does that sound? So that's probably enough for what I'm doing here. All right, so for the Vogel soup, I guess I'll talk about what we've got going on. So I got over here, I've got some of it, I'll bring it back up to a simmer. We'll pull this guy out of the way. So just pretty basic, just not rough chop, but you want it in bite-sized pieces, right? How important is it to get everything the same size for your soup?
It depends. It depends on what you're cooking it for. So for a soup, pretty important.
Yeah.
Because you want it to cook evenly.
Right.
Now if you're topping something, maybe it doesn't have to be exact.
Maybe a little more rough chop.
No pressure though. It's really important for a soup.
Really important for a soup? Well, let's see, how would you rate it? On a scale of 1 to, yeah, we'll take those out of there. No, that was, no, pish posh. That fell off the knife. That wasn't involved.
Just kidding, I think you're doing great.
But
A+.
That's okay, you can tell me I failed, it's fine. I know,
Definitely
there's no
didn't
shortage
fail.
of criticism. I do want a little bit more celery though, I can tell you that. What's neat about this soup is you could, if you wanted, fulfill your full mirepoix dream and throw carrots in there as well. We just don't.
Okay.
I would advise maybe not potatoes, right? Because potatoes, they kind of soak up a lot of what's going on. They put a lot of starch into it and it kind of changes the variable of the soup overall. And we're gonna introduce a lot of starches and gluten with the dumplings when we do it.
Okay.
So I kind of, you can throw anything in there, but I think carrots would be a safer bet than something like potatoes. But I brought some broth with me already made. And I'm gonna jockey in there when it gets kind of back up to a simmer. I'm gonna throw this extra celery and onions in there and let that simmer down for a little bit. And then we add black pepper. Do you season? I'm sure there was pepper in your mystery box.
I'll never know.
Maybe white pepper?
Ooh, good guess.
Good guess, yeah.
You have to be very careful with white pepper though, because
Why is
it
that?
is very strong.
Strong how? Like spicy or flavor?
It's spicy and flavor, so whatever you think you need to put in about half of that.
For white pepper?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's cool to know. See, I never deal with white pepper. It's just always, I guess, regular pepper.
Yeah.
Maybe paprika?
No paprika.
No paprika? What's your favorite seasoning?
Ooh. Garlic, salt.
Garlic salt?
Yes.
I like celery salt.
I never use celery salt.
It's so wonderful. On the rim of a Bloody Mary, celery salt is just banging.
I mean, for drinks, definitely.
It's a lot of fun, but I love it in like on chips, like sprinkle a little bit on chips. It just adds like this veggie essence to it.
I'm gonna try it.
Try it.
All right.
Not popcorn though.
No, celery salt popcorn. That sounds delicious.
That sounds
You
great.
can have all of it for yourself.
Just for me? Just for me and myself?
Just for you.
Okay, well, I've successfully managed to very terribly chop an onion
You're doing
and some
great.
celery. Meanwhile, just pan over here. Look at this. Look, Elyse managed, while talking, by the way, to do an avocado, dice a tomato, dice an onion. What is this, cilantro?
Yes.
Now, do you have that like soapy cilantro flavor thing people talk about?
I do not. I love cilantro, but it's a real thing.
Yeah, do you know anyone who has it?
My husband.
My wife has it too. She does not like cilantro.
It makes me very sad.
It makes me sad.
But I make him eat it anyway. I'm like, you know what? Enjoy your soap cilantro. You'll be fine.
I do not make her eat it anyway, but I do. Some of my favorite salsas are the ones that are like very cilantro heavy.
Definitely.
Yeah, right?
Or like a chimichurri with cilantro in it.
Yeah. Okay, so when you're not eating your soup at your restaurant,
Yeah.
what's your go-to? Like, what are you yanking out of that menu to sit down and have a quick lunch on your shift?
So what's my go-to at the restaurant or my go-to at home?
At the restaurant.
At the restaurant?
And then home. Why? ¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos? In mi casa. No, at the restaurant, it depends. I go through stages. So sometimes I'm going like classic bean and cheese burrito. When I was pregnant, I think I ate one every single day.
No kidding.
Yes.
That's cool.
Right now, I've been on a kick of grilled veggies, grilled chicken, a little egg, all mixed together, and making tacos out of it.
Grilled chicken. What do you do with the egg? You scramble it?
Yeah, scramble it in with everything. Mushrooms, zucchini,
No way.
tomato, onions, bell peppers.
That sounds great.
It's delicious.
And that's any meal, anytime.
Any meal, anytime.
How do you afford that with these egg prices?
Fair point. I used to never make myself steak or shrimp because it was the most expensive thing at the restaurant. Now I feel guilty eating an egg.
Eating an egg? Oh my gosh. Okay, well that sounds delicious. What about at the restaurant?
Well, that's at the restaurant.
So you're cooking that at the restaurant.
Yeah, that's
so you're off book. You're not even on the menu.
No, I'm off menu a lot at the restaurant.
Okay.
And sometimes my customers who know me well will say, hey, I want what you ate for lunch today. And so I'll whip them up something that we have.
That's so cool.
Sometimes we have different salsas in the back. They're really spicy usually. We have all kinds of stuff hiding back there.
So you were telling me, so this is your outfit Monday to Friday?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But you're saying like on the weekends, you're dressed more like, in proper business running clothes.
Yeah.
But you're like,
So depending on the day.
Yeah, okay.
If I'm in the kitchen cooking, this is how I'm dressed.
Sure.
When I am out of the kitchen, I'm going to be on the floor, then I dress a little bit nicer and, have some fun.
So if you're on the floor having fun, so if I show up and I'm like, hey, I want that egg chicken thing you're talking about, are you going to like side eye me because you're in your nice clothes, or are you just going to go for it? No?
I'll absolutely make it for you.
You should definitely side eye me though. Definitely do it.
Okay, I'll side eye you and then I'll make it for you.
Much appreciated.
Deal.
Okay, well speaking of eggs, I gotta let this get to a simmer before I can do the dumplings, but I want to show you how to make them. All right, we did a little cleaning up. Elise's restaurant brain was itchy, right? And I agree, because I watch a lot of cooking shows on TV, and like they always say, clean up your workspace all the time, right?
That's right.
And that's what you say in the restaurant, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep your sleeves rolled up. Don't walk around. So
don't be a messy chef.
What are some other like restaurant-isms we should be aware of, right? Like some things we should have in our restaurant pocket if we're trying to like be a good employee.
If you're trying to be a good employee at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Well,
probably don't just dip in the salsa before you give it to the patron.
You're just not going to eat anything.
Nothing?
Nope, unless you're on your
What
break.
about I see this on the internet, the tiramisu drawer. Do you have one of those?
We do not.
Oh, dang. Okay. So,
no tiramisu at our Mexican restaurant.
Good point. Good point. So what do we do? What do we have? Like, what are some good rules for the Mexican restaurant?
Some good rules. Well, we make everything fresh. That's a big rule.
Yeah. Okay.
We have no microwave on premise.
Not a one.
Not
even just like for an oopsie.
Nope.
Okay.
Doesn't exist
like
in
some lady,
any of our restaurants.
Like she comes in and she's like, oh, this chicken's undercooked, but you know it's perfect, so you just nuke it for 30 seconds to appease her?
No.
That's just the drawer of dried chicken, right?
We're gonna cook it on the grill, fresh for her. And we're not gonna serve
chicken.
raw chicken anyway.
Dang, okay, so no microwave.
No microwave, fresh
to know.
food every day. That's very important. A little server trick, if you're coming around a corner, you need to yell, corner.
Corner.
No matter what, all the time. Corner.
Corner. Oh.
Corner.
There you go.
But you have to yell it. You can't just...
No, you can't say it. You have to yell it with some enthusiasm.
There's no mumbling in a restaurant.
No.
Right? There's none of this.
That's how you get
whacked, right?
Whacked.
Or that's how you spill a whole tray of water.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
We're learning.
So corner, behind?
Behind, you could say behind,
That's
yes.
in the probably more in the kitchen?
Yeah, you can say behind. You let people know where you are at all times in
Yeah.
the kitchen. If you have a knife, you're gonna carry it down.
Down.
Yes. You don't wanna walk
I
around.
lost my knife.
Because restaurant knives are very sharp.
Like how sharp? How
Like,
often are they sharp?
Cut your finger off sharp.
Yeah?
Yes.
Do you all have, do your chefs have their own knives like you see in the movies?
Yes, so in my restaurant in Seal Beach, all of my chefs have their own knives.
Cool.
And when they reach certain milestones of how long they've worked for me, I buy them new knives. Yeah.
That's cool. Do you get like the handles engraved with their names and stuff like
At
that?
a certain point, yes.
That's so
And
cool.
so they all take a lot of pride in their knife sets because it tells a lot about them.
Yeah, for sure.
And the colors, certain knives are used obviously for different things and so on and so forth.
Okay.
But yes, every chef should have their own knives.
Do you have cardinal and gold knives?
I do not, but I should.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's make
like
that happen.
a nice red handle, like a deep cherry.
That just says fight on.
Fight on, yeah.
USC Spirit Leader.
You know, maybe we should make them and we'll sell them at the next Streamathon.
That's great.
All right, whoever donate, never mind. All right, so fancy knives. So we have our restaurant vernacular. So I think right now we're almost close. We're close to done with your stew. We still got another about 3.5 hours to go on the broth to be done. And then when that's all done, so once it boils and it's cooked, the chicken's cooked, you pull the chicken out, right?
Yep, we're gonna take the chicken out and I'll show you what we're gonna do with that.
Debone it, shred it. Okay, we'll do all that. But then also we've got to strain the broth, do all of that stuff. So that's all coming up.
Coming up.
In the future. So right now we're gonna tinker with my dad, the chicken and dumpling soup, right?
Is it dumpling time?
It is dumpling time. It is dumpling time.
I've been looking forward to
very
dumpling
official.
time.
So first thing I'm gonna do though is I gotta spruce up this broth a little. So we're gonna get some of these veggies in there, right? Uh-oh, we got some onion skin. Right, just those. That's gonna slow our simmer down. We'll juice that a little bit. So the dumplings, it's a very official recipe, very scientific, right?
Do you have a treasure box?
No, but I have this scientific
A beaker.
I've got a beaker, right? This you'll understand in a minute. All right, so the first thing we have is we're doing a small batch, so it's 1 egg, right? You however many dumplings you want to make. I usually start with 4 eggs because it makes a lot more than you think it's going to. So we have 1 egg. The price tag is still on this egg. Go ahead and get in there. See that?
That's a very affordable egg. Where did you find that?
You know what? I actually robbed a chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, he was out here. The chicken was out here selling them on the corner, and I just yanked it from him.
Only $100.
I felt bad, but he couldn't say anything because he just clucked at me. All right, so this is you have to be very careful because we're gonna need this shell intact.
Oh.
Okay, so we cracked the egg. Yahtzee! Did I get it right? Uh-oh, I may have screwed this up. All right, we're good though, we're still good.
Go find the chicken.
So yeah, I gotta go find that chicken. Okay, so I like this half of the shell. So the egg
you
is in
only
there.
need 1/2 of the shell.
Only 1/2, and here's why. Because the half shell is very important to the whole aesthetic, the whole process, right? It's very scientific.
Okay.
For every egg that goes in the batter, you need 1/2 of an eggshell of milk to go in there, you see? So that's it. That's how much milk. Isn't that so fancy?
I love
schmancy?
that.
The beaker, not necessary. All right, we'll give a little of that rinse on that bad boy.
But for all you science majors out there,
all you science majors,
that was for you.
One egg and 1/2 of a shell of milk. All right, so then the next big piece is you get your tablespoon, and what we're making is, it's between a batter and a dough. So it's not quite a batter, it's not quite a dough. We're trying to find consistency in it, right? Now, I don't know how exactly to describe it other than I know what it looks like.
Okay.
And that's how we're gonna know it's done. So I'm gonna beat up that, you wanna help me? You wanna whip that egg up into shape for me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll get the flour going. So then, usually what I like to do is I'll pull some flour aside and I'll season the flour. So just a little bit of salt, a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper goes into the flour, and that goes into the dumpling. But we're gonna go ahead and do it all. I'm gonna do it all in the eggs because I don't, look at this cute little, this little flour jar, courtesy of my mother-in-law. By the way, we're filming in my in-laws' kitchen. They're behind camera. We can wave at them. Hello! They've graciously allowed me to make a complete mess of their kitchen. So thank you, Jim and Renee. Trojans, by the way. And they met at USC. How delightful is that? It's a love story in the making. All right, so we'll take the eggs. We're gonna throw some, probably, I don't know, we're gonna do 1.5 cracks of salt, because you gotta season everything.
Absolutely. Are we using what kind of salt?
Usually I do kosher salt.
Okay.
Because eventually it's gonna get mixed down and kind of mixed in, so it's fine. But usually finer, really fine sea salt's gonna be better.
Got it.
The fresh cracked pepper though, like it's okay. If one dumpling's got like a nice,
A little more spice.
little more pepper in there, it's okay in what we have going on. So now, what I like to do is, based on how many eggs, you start with that many tablespoons of flour. So we got 1 egg, so I'm gonna start with 1 big sort of stacky tablespoon. Of course, I threw my fork away. Don't look. All right, so 1 teaspoon of flour, and we're gonna mix this bad boy up. Let's see, and we'll show it to the camera when we get there. The beginning is never as much fun because it just looks not very good. But once that flour gets broken down, I guess if you wanted to, you could sift it.
Are you fully breaking down the flour to a smooth consistency?
Yep. We're breaking it down.
Okay.
So it takes a little bit of time. Like you
So
could
you're gonna have
sift
to put
it.
some muscle into it?
Put some muscle into it, or some paste or something. Here we go.
And we'll see you in 3 hours.
We'll see you, right? It'll be a race to the finish, right? So this is way too, we're too battery right now. Battery? Batteress? Batteress, right?
I would say too thin.
Too thin, yes. We're gonna give it a little bit, a touch and a go. And what you wanna see is as it's thickening up, yeah, now we're getting something going, is you wanna see it pull away. So it's kind of, it should seem like a batter, but it'll pull away clean from the side of the bowl.
Okay.
And that's how you know that it's working, that it's gonna work for you. Doop, 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 doop. Hi, how you doing? So I'm sitting here mixing this batter with Elyse over here. I'm trying to be entertaining, but it's inherently not, so maybe we'll cut around it. All right, we're close. A touch more. So this is where I think, obviously my dad, he's been doing this for, same thing. He was a kid working in the restaurant from the get-go. And,
what was the name of the restaurant?
It was called Swannie's.
Swannie's.
So the surname Swanson.
Yes.
So my great-grandfather, great-grandmother, they started the restaurant Swannie's, and then my grandparents took it over. And then my dad, wouldn't you know it, he didn't want to be in the restaurant business. So he and his siblings were doing it, and then when he got old enough to kind of be making his own way in the world, he went on and moved on, did other things.
And what kind of food was it?
It was diner food. So they did
Love a good diner.
good diner food. They did a lot of hamburgers. They did breakfast. So it was a drive-in. So this went up. If you watch what is it? The Founder, about the McDonald's story, right?
Yes.
At the time there were a lot of car hops kind of restaurants. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And where they really made a lot of their bones, where people came by, is it was right by the railroad tracks. So a lot of times these freight trains would come in and they would just stop. There's no station. They would just stop outside of the restaurant, hop off the train, order something, hop on the train, and be on their way.
On their way. I love
Isn't that
it.
crazy? Isn't that crazy? Also an odd story. Oh yeah, see. So now we can kind of see it. So if you look in there, Brett.
There we go.
See, it is almost like a batter, but then it'll pull away from the side. When you scrape it, that's kind of how you know we've got it. We've got it where it needs to be. It's a little stickier than I want, but that's okay because it's better to err on the side of too sticky than less sticky, because as we make them, some of the broth is going to find its way in here.
Got it.
So if it's a little firmer or a little too tough, that's okay, because it'll get broken down as we go on.
Okay.
Make sense? All right, so now the secret weapon
Ooh.
is a melon baller, right? Melon baller, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this in here, get it a little hot, we got a nice rolling boil, and then I get myself one melon baller width of the batter, get it down in there, a little shimmy shake, oops, there we go, and it pops right off. Here we go, we'll get a nice paste going. And essentially what we're making is, these are just, they're noodles, they're just big noodles. And this comes from the German heritage of my family. So if you look up different chicken and dumplings recipes, a lot of times a German-inspired soup will have these thicker.
Interesting. I've never made dumplings before.
Egg noodle, and this is it. And it's
learning.
really yummy. It's really good. What I loved about them as a kid, sometimes my dad would make them really, really big, like these really big dumplings, and it was like you'd see if you could eat the whole thing in one bite while simultaneously melting.
It's like Chubby Bunny with dumplings.
Chubby Bunny with boiling hot dumplings. Yeah.
We do not have dumplings in Mexican culture.
What would be the equivalent? You got to have some kind of, I guess, some kind of noodle something, right?
Not really. Obviously we use a lot of rice.
Yeah.
And other than that, we have different ways, other than, let's say, tortillas, right? We
Right,
have things
sure.
called sopapillas. We have, all different ways of stuffing things, with tortillas and such.
Yeah.
But no dumplings.
No dumplings, no noodles.
No noodles.
I always love ingredients like rice and noodles or flatbreads, and you can kind of see around the world all the different cultures that
It's true,
picked them up along the way.
Well, these are a little bit reminiscent of gnocchi to me.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Like very, very much so, just not as structured. Because you kind of see, if you look in there, there's not really,
All right.
like they're all different.
So in my head, they're round, but they're not.
They're not round. Because
Got it.
you can kind of see, let's see if I can kind of
Very
push one up a little bit, right?
Schnitzely.
Very schnitzely, yeah.
German.
Very German, very schnitzely. But now now here's the important part. I'm sniffing it. Take a whiff of that. Very
Ooh,
chickeny,
smells
right?
good.
But here's what it needs. A little of this, a little black pepper. I'm gonna steal my flour spoon just to give that a quick stir. And now hopefully, if you give that a sniff, tell me if you smell that pepper coming out of there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I got it.
Okay, so now it's going. So now this is just, we're gonna let this simmer down so that we bring the flavor forward. But now we gotta talk about yours and your soup and what we're doing with you.
Just checking on it over here.
Just checking on it over here. Take a peek.
Still cooking.
So now we gotta, okay, well we'll fast forward to where it's cooked and then we're gonna deal with the chicken. Hi, Elyse.
Hey.
All right, so finally, 5 hours later, the chicken, ta-da, is done. What are we doing with this bad boy?
So we have our chicken that
Yeah.
we're gonna use to shred in the soup, and I'm
Okay.
gonna give you the honor of doing that.
I get to shred the chicken?
Yeah, get in there.
Okay, so what? You dark meat, white meat, what do you like? What am I doing?
So in our soup, we use chicken breast. So first you're gonna need to peel the skin off.
All of it?
No, just right through the middle there.
Right here, right
Like
here?
this. There you go.
What do you mean like this? What do I grab?
You're the skin.
like this, okay? The chicken skin's off.
All right.
We get to eat this
You can if you'd like.
later.
And then we're going to go in for the chicken breast. So see all the white meat that's in here?
All of this stuff.
That's your chicken breast. So you're gonna start pulling some of that off.
Oh, there we go.
Get your thumbs in there and pull this way. That's the best way to get the chicken breast out.
Sharp.
There you go.
There we go.
Yep.
Ugh. You know, butchering wasn't on my doctorate exams, right? How's that? Good?
A little bit.
Some doctor. Hey, cameraman, keep your commentary to yourself.
All right, so here, I'm gonna help you. So we're gonna get some chicken out of it, right?
Thanks.
So here's our chicken breast.
Where'd you find that? Oh, up and under.
There you go. And we're gonna start shredding. So
Set up.
here you go.
Disaster. Hold on. See, here we go.
There you go. You're doing good now.
There's the breast meat.
All right. Now, we do use all of the chicken meat in our restaurant.
I would,
so
yeah, for
your
sure.
tacos, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's all used. But in our soup, we only use chicken breast.
But in your tacos, you're using like the thighs and the
Exactly.
wing meat and all of that. Because I'm a big dark meat fan, truth be told. Like that's why in
It has
mine,
a lot of flavor.
A lot of flavor. I used bone-in thighs, bone-in skin on, and then pulled all that out when I did the thing.
You're doing great.
It's like I want to make a dinner for my kids and coming in there and doing it again. All right, so we're shredding the chicken. Okay, that's probably enough for one bowl
Yeah,
or
that'll
more.
work.
Yeah?
Then we're actually gonna add that to our broth.
Add it to the broth.
Yep.
Here, hold on a little bit more.
There you go.
Now that I've got my fingers all over it. Okay, now what?
Okay, so what we're gonna do from here is basically we're gonna start by putting our rice in.
Rice in the bowl.
So we make this rice every day in the restaurant, fresh.
That chicken is good.
Good chicken, right?
It's great.
It's all those secret spices.
I know it. It really is. You know what? They get down in there.
They do.
Because they're floating around in there,
and
so
that's
you
why
can-
it
you
takes
can
so long
hear
to
it.
cook, right?
You can hear it. You can taste it all the way down. Okay.
All right, so now we're going to ladle some of our chicken.
Yeah. And broth
Into-
onto the rice. Now the broth, after you've cooked the chicken in there, the broth it gets strained, right?
Correct.
So anything that's loose in there, because you're trying to get as clean.
Yeah,
and
you can see,
clear a broth.
see
You
how
can just
clear
see
the
it,
broth
yeah.
is. There we go.
It'd be very different from the broth we have over here that I got going on.
All right, so there's your basic
Rice,
Mama
broth, chicken.
Avila's soup.
Oh, Mama Avila's soup. Look how beautiful it
right.
looks. But we got to garnish it, right?
We do. So this is our multi-generational old soup recipe.
Okay.
It's gone through,
Yeah.
we're not actually sure how many generations, but my
okay.
family is from Guanajuato, Mexico, and that is back where it stems from. My grandma brought this recipe over with her when she came
So
to
who
the
knows
United
how far
States.
back it went?
Exactly.
That's so
We
cool.
don't actually know.
That's great.
I
Okay.
think we've tracked it 5 or 6 generations back.
Ahead of her.
Yes.
Wow.
But past that, we're not sure.
Okay.
So,
Well, do you want to? Should I bowl mine up,
yeah.
and then we'll
we'll
garnish
garnish?
yours?
I love
Yeah.
it. Let's do
okay.
that.
So let's do that. So this one, it's simmering. I'm gonna borrow the ladle because maybe we'll infuse a
Because
little.
a little
bit of-
Mama Avila
Little
soup
Mama
in yours
Avila.
is great.
It's not, it's fine. It's fine. So we'll come over here. We'll ladle this up into the bowl. How cool is that, huh? Rectangular bowl. So you'll notice, very homey, kind of a soup, right? Get some of those dumplings in there. Do. I'll tell you what. Growing up in the high desert, people associate the high desert with heat. Hot summers, this, that, or the other. But a lot of folks forget about the cold, cold winters we would have. And so I can remember being a kid and just like sometimes it would snow, but it'd just be ice cold, and my dad would make this soup and it would just it would slay all the time, all right? Cool?
I gotta get a lime, hang on.
She needs a lime.
Or a lemon. So we got a lemon from my very own garden.
Lemon from your very own garden.
And a lime from Ralph's.
Okay, lime from Ralph's. Here, we'll grab, look, now we got a cute small one. Here we go. And we need a sharp knife. Behind.
Behind, corner.
Corner, all right. I learned.
There you go.
Is it that measured? All
You
right,
walk
there
that slow.
I know, that's slow, okay.
All right, so with our soup, you can choose. So you can do lemon or lime with it. I actually prefer lemon.
Sure.
But it is totally up to you. This is quite a large lemon.
Yeah, from your very own garden?
From my very own garden.
That's cool. So lemon or lime?
Yep, so completely your choice. So you'll garnish with that, and then when you're ready to eat, you'll squeeze the fresh lime or lemon in there.
Ooh, okay.
And then past that, we are going to
What
put
goes first?
a little cilantro,
A little cilantro. Nice.
a little bit of onion,
Fresh white onion.
yep,
Okay.
a little tomato,
Tomato. Beautiful.
and of course none other than some fresh avocado.
Mmm. Look at this. And she cleans it up. Here, we'll get a soup. Here, we'll get a soup spoon, huh? Here we go. Let's see. Look at this cute little spoon. No, that's too small. We want a big bite. Here we go. Look at that one, huh?
There we go.
Big spoon. Okay. So here we are. Mama Avila's
Mama Avila soup.
soup. Okay. Wayne Vogel soup. Should we do a swapsy taste test? Shall we?
Absolutely.
All right. Here we go. Behind. Okay. So here we go. All right. So the official taste test. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Pling.
That's delicious.
Oh, man, it's so good. It is so good. You can taste every single spice. You don't know what they are, but you can taste them.
Yours is delicious too.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm gonna take it home.
You want to?
I'm gonna eat it for dinner tonight. How's
Do
that?
it. Please do. Please
All
do.
right.
It's very filling. Be careful.
I can't wait.
No, this is great. This has been a lot of fun.
So much fun. Thanks for inviting me.
No, absolutely. Thanks for coming out. Just give me a minute. Can I take one more bite, please?
Yeah.
I didn't eat breakfast and just. It's so good. Now it's a meal. We're having soup, but no meal would be complete without
Without?
cocktail.
I'm all.
Lime.
I'm like,
So it's a meal. It's delicious. So go
Again.
from the top. So back to one. Here we go. So at least it's a meal. It's delicious. It's filling, but no meal would be complete without
Cocktails!
cocktails. All right, we're heading to the bar. We'll see you in a minute. Fight on.
Fight on.
All right. So we finished dinner. Now it's time for a cocktail. So I have a surprise for you. You don't even know what's coming your way.
Oh, yeah?
It's a Vogel specialty. We slave over it. You're going to love it. But we're going to have you go first.
All right. Well, first we're
you
gonna
got?
start with a margarita.
Nice.
So, first and most importantly, tequila.
Tequila. What kind of tequila is this?
This
I've never
is
seen this before.
Celaya tequila. It's actually owned by two Trojans.
Two Trojans.
Yes, two alumni Trojans that
Okay.
played football, the Khalils.
Oh, very cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is their tequila.
This is their tequila. It's a great product.
Nice. All right. Use it in the
and-
restaurant?
Yeah, I use it every single day.
Looky there. Okay, so what's step one?
So step one, we're gonna put some coconut. We're gonna make a coconut margarita.
Nice,
It is
coconut
one
margarita.
of the more popular margaritas
Tom Hanks
at
would
our
approve.
restaurants.
Okay.
All right.
Coconut on the rim.
You can also toast the coconut if you have a little bit of time.
Okay.
All
Got
right.
it.
We're gonna add a little tequila in there, right?
Into the shaker.
Or a lot of tequila, depending on your day.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. All right, so we got our tequila.
Okay.
We're gonna put in a little bit of agave nectar.
A little bit of agave nectar. Okay.
We're gonna squeeze some fresh lime in there.
2 halves.
Yeah, it depends on the lime.
Got it.
How
Okay.
much juice you're getting. I'm gonna do 3.
Oh, snap.
There we go. And then we're gonna put some fresh coconut water.
Ooh, coconut water. I'm not a big consumer of coconut water. if
You're
I'm
gonna
being
love
honest.
this.
I enjoy the flavor, but you know, you're not gonna find me cruising around drinking coconut water. Yeah.
I prefer coconut water when served with tequila.
Don't we all?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, so we got our drink. Actually, we're gonna take this off.
Shaker has been shaken. Oh, and the ice goes with it.
Yeah, you want to put the ice with it. There we go.
Your who was it? Your aunt was teasing me last time because I strained the ice out of the margarita. She's like, "What are you
Yes.
making, a martini?
Yes,
what are
it's
you
not
doing?"
a martini.
Looky there.
There you go.
Ooh, okay. Can I sniff it?
Yes. You're gonna love it. All that coconut.
Let's give it a taste. You know what I can taste in there? Is the tequila.
Most important.
Most important. That's great. Here, you should have some on this Friday morning.
We should have made 2.
Right before we pick up the kids from school. How's it taste? Good?
Tastes great.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna make you the Vogel family cocktail.
All right.
It's very important. So I'm gonna have you face forward. Don't look behind you, right? And I'm gonna bring it, display it on a tray, all right? So as you know, I grew up in the high desert, right? And
Yes.
so we are known in the high desert for our culture, for our what would you say, like a certain
Finesse.
je ne sais pas of what we do, right?
All right.
We're just known for class, sophistication, right? This is what you've known for. So this is something,
That's what I think of.
one of my favorite, absolute favorite cocktails, all right? So here we go, have a presentation for you. All right, so it's a 2-step process. It's very delicate.
I can get this.
All right, so first thing you do is you open the can. Then you grab your Pilsner glass and you put it away because we didn't have those. And so there you go. There's your high desert cocktail to go with your chicken and dumplings. Give that. When's the last time you had one of those?
It's been a minute.
Been a hot minute?
Yeah.
Maybe a tailgate or so.
Maybe
you know,
a
coming back as an
USC.
alum. All right.
Cheers.
So cheers. So big shout out. Thank you to Elyse. Give Elyse a round of applause, everybody. Thank you
guys.
for coming out and farting around with me yet again. The soup was lovely.
I'm glad you enjoyed my grandma's soup. I appreciate you having me
loved
in
it.
my restaurant out. And we hope to see
Please.
you all at Avila's
And
El Ranchito.
Go to her restaurant. Go to Seal Beach. They have cardinal and gold tortilla chips. Get down there. Patronize the
a
restaurant.
giant USC flag out front.
A giant, you cannot miss it. You're walking down, you can smell it, you smell the soup, you see the flag, go in there, all right? So big shout out once again. Give one more round of applause to Elyse, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in on the Streamathon, and cheers.
Fight on.
Fight on, cheers. Here we go, big sip.
Delicious.